because I almost thought of calling this, is it's the book on how to fail less. Thank you. It was funny up here.
He's a black card member.
Black card member. He's an experienced guy. So
for this
fail less. That means you'll. All right. So I hope that is.
Yeah. So the book is built more like it's not something you pick up on your trip to Maui to read at the pool, right? It's more of
That's where I wrote it, but
it's more of an encyclopedia. It's
a reference manual.
It's a reference manual.
Right.
Yeah. And I wanted to take one piece of it and just get some experiences from a couple of people in the room, and then maybe we can analyze it. Because in my opinion, if I had attended this in early 2010, before the iPad launched, and we launched our game, I would not have failed quite so hard.
I don't believe it. Was it your first startup?
Yeah, pretty much.
So here's the interesting thing. I want to test it on you. First-time entrepreneurs, when you hear advice like in the Startup Owner's Manual or 4 Steps to the E.piphany, you kind of file it away along with other interesting tidbits like the Fahrenheit to Celsius conversion table. It's kind of nice to have and whatever. But I got to tell you, you're talking like an entrepreneur who screwed it up and now actually has gone back and learned some lessons. I will contend that if I actually gave you this book the day you started your company, when you were feeling like the hot EA product manager, what are the odds you actually would have paid attention?
Well, I had a full head of hair at that time, Steve, so I was
so the answer is you probably would have ignored it.
Confidence was at an all-time high.
No, but we won't go into that algorithm. But do you see what I mean? And it's not a diss on anybody. It's just how we're wired. It's not till you actually have had, unless you're incredibly astute, and this room might be full of incredibly astute people, it took me 8 startups to kind of figure it out. Some people are a lot smarter. It's just that until you've had that, entrepreneurship is experiential. It's like getting the sex manual. That's great. Okay, I'm supposed to do what? And then after the first time you had sex, you went, oh yeah, let's do that again. This is kind of the anti-sex. Don't do that. That hurts. The analogy
No one in this room got that joke. Knowing my audience.
I'll use a better example. I still remember the moment I taught my younger daughter the word hot. My younger daughter was wired kind of like me, bouncing off of walls and whatever. And I remember, Sarah, fire's hot. Hot. Sarah, hot. And then I went, okay, and I just made sure there was nothing flammable around her, and she put her finger in her. Sarah's never forgotten the word hot, and we still remember that exact moment. Entrepreneurship is like that. Until you've kind of touched the third rail of failure, some of these lessons are just theory. And so, I'm glad the book is popular, and I'm glad whatever, and for a lot of people, it will sit on a shelf forever. I got to tell you the funniest thing about the book is, 4 Steps to the E.piphany has never been on Kindle or iBook or whatever. And Startup Owner's Manual, I got hate mail going, it's not on the Kindle, and I'm not going to buy it forever. And I'm kind of going, help me understand. This is a book that could change your life, and I appreciate, and by the way, it will be in an electronic version, sometime in 2012, let me just say that, but just to kind of go, I'm going to hold my breath and turn blue until you, wait a minute, about 3,000 years ago, there were some guys who came down with a mountain, and they were carrying stone tablets, and people made religions, and they were carrying the tablets around. I mean, these aren't the tablets, but you don't have advice per pound. Guys, it's not, in fact, if you want lightweight advice, I'll be happy to give you other books on the Kindle, but when there is advice, you need to chase it. I remember flying to New York for 15-minute meetings. I did that multiple times in my life. If you're a killer entrepreneur, I don't care where the great advice is, and if it's chiseled in stone or bark or somewhere else, you will go after it. A great advisor or great someone else. And so just as a riff, I have to tell you, I've saved all the emails of must have been 5 or 10 just nasty people going, well, it's not, never going to buy it. Going, if it were me, I'd be going out, figuring out where our ranch is, and standing outside the gate going like, can I get a preview cow?
Yeah.
Sorry, what was the question?
That was great. You answered it. It was awesome. So